Now this is the real Jonathan Majors matchup we've been waiting for.
Garbage Day! Huh? No!
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to my review of Creed 3. Before I get into the review, I do want to establish my relationship with this franchise because I do have a lot to say on that regard. Now, I've been a fan of the Rocky series since I was a kid. They've always been what I call comfort food movies for me, and what I mean by that is they just make me feel good. I can put them on when I'm not feeling too great, and if I just need something to watch, they lift my spirits because they're just such inspiring and hopeful movies for me. Even when things get tough for Rocky, he always finds a way to come through. So I love them. The first movie is one of my favorite movies of all time, but I love all of them save for maybe the fifth one. When Creed came out, the first one, I was very enthusiastic about it. It's actually probably my second favorite in the series behind the first movie. And the reason for that is because it has like Rocky 1 and Creed both have this like grittiness to them and like a real like almost everyman quality where like they just feel authentic to that neighborhood, if that makes any sense. I mean, I've never been to Philly, but you can just really feel the energy of that city through those two films, and just they just have like a more realistic tone to them than the rest of the series, even though I love all of them. Rocky 4 I love as well, even though it's so over the top. And then Creed 2 I really enjoyed as well. I was disappointed with it at first when I saw it. I kind of wanted more of that Ryan Coogler touch that the first movie had, so I kind of dismissed it when I first saw the movie because I was also looking forward to Ivan Drago returning, and he didn't have as big of a role as I expected. On a rewatch, though, I really, really enjoyed it, and I think it had a lot more merit to it than I initially gave it. It still has all the drama, all the action that you want, and the final fight is very satisfying. So it's definitely not as good as the first film, but I still think it's a really solid sequel. And now we come to Creed 3. I was very excited for this one because, one, Michael B. Jordan is directing. We have Jonathan Majors joining the series, and he's, as you know, he's a great actor. And just, I was excited to see the next chapter in this story. However, there was some drama behind the scenes that didn't allow for Sylvester Stallone to return because he had a dispute with a producer on the series named Irwin Winkler, who it's just a lot of politics. He wouldn't give him the rights basically to the series, even though that's the deal Stallone made back when the first film came out. And so Stallone didn't like the direction, I guess, that this movie went in, so he does not appear in this movie, unfortunately. Now that I've got all the backstory out of the way, let's get to the actual review. So like I said before, Creed 3 is directed by Michael B. Jordan, stars Michael B. Jordan, Tessa Thompson, and Jonathan Majors. In this film, Adonis Creed has retired from being the heavyweight champ of the world. He has moved on. He has a daughter now, and he is basically taking on the promoter manager role, where he manages another fighter named, I think Felix was his name. And but then he has some drama come in with an old friend named Damien, who comes back into his life, played by Jonathan Majors, and without getting too much into it, there's a lot of history between those two characters that eventually ends up with them fighting in the ring, because Damien is established as just as good, if not better, of a boxer than Adonis is. So I'll just get it right out of the way off the bat. I love this movie. I think this is the best movie I've seen this year so far. I think it's up there with the best of the Rocky series, without even having Rocky in it, which is pretty impressive because, like, you'd think that they wouldn't be able to move on without Stallone, but they found a way. This film has the best fight sequences of the Creed trilogy. It has an amazing look to it. Just these gorgeous shots of Los Angeles and some really interesting creative choices without giving too much away by Michael B. Jordan, especially during the final boxing match. You'll know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. And just overall, it's just such a well-made boxing film. It still uses basically the same formula as the rest of the series, but it it adds enough elements that contribute to varying this one up to make it not just the stale same thing that we've seen like 8 other times. It's a great movie. All the performances are great. Once again, Michael B. Jordan, I love Adonis Creed. He's such a great character. Tessa Thompson, I think this is her role. Bianca, this is the role I respect her the most for, rather than like Valkyrie and Thor. I think this is what I will remember her for. Like, that's the character that she plays, and she does another great job here. The girl that played their daughter in this film, who is deaf, she's completely lost her hearing, and she does a great job as well. But really the standout here is Jonathan Majors. He sort of takes on the role of almost like the Mr. T Clubber Lang character in Rocky 3, so it's almost following in that lineage. Just in terms of structure, the character is completely different though from Clubber Lang. This guy is he's got his own agenda going on, and he has a lot of emotional depth, and just you definitely feel bad for the guy, at least for the first half of the film. He basically took the fall for Adonis during a tough time where, the police got involved, and he ended up going to jail for 18 years. So he comes back wanting to fight again, and there's just some bad blood between the two of them, and it makes the fights really emotionally impactful, and their performances just sell it. It's a really good rivalry. To be honest, this would be a 10 out of 10 movie for me, if not for one thing, and that is the absence of Stallone and the Philadelphia location. To me, that is the heart of this franchise. It's really, there were moments throughout this movie where it almost feels like you could have inserted Rocky to be in Adonis's corner here as the support that he was in the last 2 films, and it would have just added so much, like, it always just adds so much weight to what's happening. Not that there wasn't enough weight happening already, but it was such a shame to not see him there, because his relationship with Adonis, Rocky and Adonis's relationship, is so well developed in the other 2 movies, and I just love seeing those 2 together, and it sucked not seeing him. And just the Philadelphia location overall, to me, that's Rocky. That seeing like the neighborhood and Mickey's gym and just all those locations, it feels traditional to me. And this film's in Los Angeles, and they do a good job portraying that city, but I don't know, it felt like it was missing that aspect. So that makes this movie not like perfect in my eyes. But this movie gets right what any good Rocky movie has to get right, and it has that X factor of, when I'm in the theater, I'm glued to the screen, I am just invested in what's happening. I react to every hit and every emotional gut punch. There's some actually really emotional stuff in this movie. I was tearing up a little bit during one scene, and you'll probably know what I'm talking about if you've seen it. It got all of the beats right that it needed to get without feeling stale. So yeah, as you can tell, I obviously love this movie. It's not the best Rocky film. I guess it's a Creed franchise now, but I include them all in the same franchise. It's not the best, but it's definitely like in the top 5, I would say. Top 3 or 4 maybe. So with that being said, I'm going to give Creed 3 a 9 out of 10. I think it's the best movie of the year so far. I had a great time with this movie. Have you guys had any experience with the Rocky franchise? Which one is your favorite? Tell me in the comments below. I think this franchise is not running out of steam. I think they could go on for another 3 or 4 movies. I think there's definitely room. And please find a way to bring Stallone back for the next one if they make it. I think that would just, it would just feel right. Just figure it out. So once again, thank you for watching. If you like this, please like and subscribe. And I have lots more content coming down the pipeline. March is a really busy month for movies. Scream 6 is next week, and Shazam the week after. So I'll see you guys again for more reviews. Bye.